Just tell me, looking into it, what is this? I told you just before, what is this? This is a configuration file, right? This is a configuration file for SSH. How do we log into the system? Using SSH. So my SSH command is a client. So there should be some server running in the Linux server to accept this request. SSH user write something means something has been grabbed into the server. So there is a SSH server is there, and the SSH server has the configuration /etc SSH sshd.conf. Okay. Now what I am doing here, I am just disabling. There are a number of options are there. You should understand all these things. I cannot take completely, but few I can. If you want to change the port number of this particular SSH, what is the default port number for SSH? 22. 22. These are things you want to remember. Interviewer asks these questions. Interviewer asks this: what is the port for default port for, or the port for whatever bash, or the hell like that. So you may think of bash means also the SSH. Whenever you want to log into SSH, don't you have to tell that bash means we are logging into SSH. SSH default port is 22. Understand? So remember in that step. Somebody will twist and ask you questions like this. You want if you have a correct understanding or not. Okay. So port number 22. If I want to change this port number to some 22, 32. You can have any port number other than 1024, greater than 1024. Because there is a set of 0 to 10 port number as a standard ports. For example, 80 is used for HTTP, 445 or 143. It's not SMTP, it's IMAP. SMTP is 25. SMTP is 25. FTP, File Transfer Protocol, 21. Okay, IMAP. What is POP3? Post Office Protocol? 587 is there, but 587 you can use it as an SMTP port. 587 is an SMTP port. It's because usually used for mail transfer. So there is a difference between SMTP and IMAP and POP3, right? SMTP used for transferring the mails. SMTP full form, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. It is used for transferring the mail from one destination to another, sending mail. Doesn't receive it. Mail server doesn't receive it, only can receive by IMAP or POP. Right? So that is the reason why we are configuring mobile also, we are configuring IMAP or POP. Because IMAP is used for access protocol, Internet Mail Access Protocol. POP3 is Post Office Protocol. We are receiving letters, we are receiving mails, Post Office Protocol. All these are POP3 by default port number is. Now I will tell you, so you forgot everything regarding port numbers. In Linux you can find it out. So there is a file, I told you, there is a file in Linux. Everything is there is a file in Linux where you can find the protocols. This is cat ECC services. Now check for grep POP. What is POP3? 1104, that is for UDP. That is for UDP as well as TCP also. So there POP3 is 110 UDP port and POP3 is for 110 TCP port. So both TCP and UDP, they are using the same port. Right? POP3 number, the POP3S is also there. That is 995. Secure POP3. Right? Authenticated POP3. When you are using, if you want a secure authentication, you are using POP3S 995. Now, SMTP or mail server. You just type mail, n number of mails are there. Okay, always use SMTP. Protocol name should be correct. Okay, I will type SMTP. SMTP. So SMTP is there, RSMTP is there. SMTP is 25 for both TCP and UDP. What is SMTPS? What is SMTPS for? 65. And you check for 587. What is 587? 587 for mail message submission. Mail message submission. This is a part of SMTP 587. Submitting the mail, not receiving, submitting the mail, sending a mail. That is the reason why I told you it's a part of SMTP. Okay, so for these are all used for security. Other than 25, anybody can hack 25 because it is a plain text authentication, no encrypted authentication. 465 is an encrypted authentication. Okay, we have a subject called HTTPS. In Apache server, I will let you know how we can install certificates, how we can configure SSL certificate. Just like our Gmail, you have that HTTPS. We will configure that. Okay, we will get to know that. Very simple. So before that, we have to understand what are there. So these are the different protocols that is being used. Now we are going to our SSH configuration. If you want to change the default port number, this is the port number. And if you want to change the listen address, what is the listen address? Each and every protocol listens to IP and port number. IP will be attached to a port number. Service will be attached to the IP. Right? Which IP? You can have IP address, system IPs will be there. Server IP, or it can be local host. Local host is 127.0.0.1. Local host. It can be other IP, or it can be any IP. Three categories. One is local host, one is the system IP or the server IP, and third one, any IP. Okay, so any IP have a notation 0.0.0.0. 0.0.0 means all IP. 127.0.0.1 means localhost IP. Right? No, right? 127.0.0.1. We call this as a local host IP or local loopback IP. Many it can be named directly. Somebody asks you loopback IP. Loopback IP is 127.0.1. Somebody asks you localhost IP. 127.0.0.1 is a localhost IP. Right? Somebody asks you local loop. What is local loop IP? That's also same. Loop, back, loop. All this comes under the same local. Any IP 0.0.0.0 or any IP. That is the same way 0.0 means any IP. This IPv4. 1, 2, 3, 4. IPv4. This is IPv6. Okay, double colon if you use it, that is IPv6. There's a difference between IPv6. Two more octets are added into this one in order to increase the IP address. Okay, so this you can change. Then again, I will do one magic, not a magic actually. Public authentication, authorized files. Where is password authentication? Password authentication equal to no. I will give you password authentication equal to no. Okay. Password authentication equal to no. And just I will restart the service. System CTL restart SSH done. Okay. Now I'll try to go to the new tab SSH. What is the IP address for my this one 1.7 maybe if config 1.7 yeah 1.7 SSH root at 192.168. Sorry 168.1.7. Unable to log in. Long case. Now how will you log in? That is the reason. That is the reason. How to find it out? This is the reason. This error can be get by different reasons. Okay, remember this error. Permission denied. What is permission denied? Either it is a public key denying, or your GCP key is designing, or GSS API with the MIC, or the certificate are denying. Somebody is denying your user password. So whenever you get like this, you should understand that your password authentication is disabled because it is not popping for password. It is not asking for password. So you should think at that same time that somebody has disabled it. Now, how will you get it? Suppose this is your console. You lost your access. How will you log into the server if you lost your access? How will you? We have a console access. Console access means either our VirtualBox console or the original physical server will be having a console. I told you again. It will be called as KVM. Keyboard, video and mouse. KVM. Okay. So we log into the KVM and use it. Now come. Yes. Suppose this is our console. Consider. So how will you log into the system? How will you troubleshoot this? This is what a troubleshooting part. Okay. First step, you have to check the log. Every service or system will be having log file. What is the logging file? What is log? The actions that is performed by a service. Actions that is performed by a service is logged into, added into log file. So where is the log file? It will be in var log always. We are given an introduction. Where is the logs? These are the different logs. Okay, booting log, cron log, messages system logs. Okay, mail log. N number of logs are there. Last log, demessage log. N number of logs are there. Then where our log comes in? Is there any secure log? Is there? Yes, secure log is there. We can find this error either in messages or in secure. So you just tail. You go to that location, tail minus of messages. Nothing is there. This is a file, okay? Or E minus F means what? It will display the first last 10 lines and it will wait for new messages. Okay, tail minus of secure. Sorry. Secure. This is another one. Okay, I'll just enter it. It will be waiting for new messages. You have to do this. And just now again you try to log in. Again you try to log in. What you are getting? Permission denied. Go to the console. Connection closed by something is there. Just above we got unregistered authentication agent for Unix process. Okay? Somebody is disturbing. Connection closed. Again, if you try, 1 second, connection closed. So this is the error that we are getting. Your connection is closed by this particular port using pre-authentication. Okay? Pre-authentication error has been got. So you have to check in the SSH configuration. How will you check SSH configuration? /etc init.d, /etc sshd and sshd.config and check whether password authentication is auth. Check for auth. Wherever you find auth, authentication. That is pre-auth. Error is pre-auth. So go down and check whether what is the public. If commented means you don't check. Whichever is uncommented, you check for that. Here it is giving password authentication is equal to no. To disable tunneled clear text passwords, change it to no here. Okay? Here everything is commented. Commented means they are all default one. We don't have to, somebody has changed means this has been password as an administrator. I will secure SSH. This is one of the parts for securing SSH. It will don't allow you any password authentication, only allow key authentication. Okay, key authentication means we provide a private key to log into the system. I will tell you that also. Okay, then password authentication is equal to no. This is the reason why we are getting the problem. Right now, they have disabled password authentication. Now I have to enable key authentication. How to enable key authentication? I will tell you. You have to create key. How to create key? You have a command called SSH keygen, key generation, -t RSA. What is this RSA? It's an encryption model. RSA, DSA, SHA are the encryption model. Okay, that comes under cryptography. You can just check for Control G. Tab T. Cryptography. Cryptography is itself is a big subject. What is cryptography? Cryptography is the practice and study techniques to secure communication. Okay, how the communication is secure. So we are communicating, we are securing our communication through cryptography, encryption and decryption. Right? Suppose this is pen. Okay, take this. Take this. If I wrap this, suppose this is white paper. If I wrap into this one and close it out, will you be able to understand this? What is inside? At least you should understand that there is some height and weight is there. Some subject with the height and so nobody can understand unless until you open it. Who can open this? The sealed. The sealed. Sealed means nobody can open. Only a person can. Who the address is, you are giving this to some parcel. Who the address is, he can open it. Otherwise, this is void, hacked. Right? So we should have some authorized person to use this one. Such authorization is used in cryptography. Cryptography is a very vast subject. Have you learned? In CS? There should be some subject, right? Cryptography, encryption, decryption, SHA. Huh? Yes, topic was there. Caesar cipher. Cipher is a Caesar cipher, no? Digital signature or hidden. Heard of digital signature, right? What is digital signature? Now nobody uses sign. Everything is digitally signals and create a barcode. What is this barcode? Barcode itself is a every product in the market is having a barcode. What is this barcode? Who generates it? How generates it? It's all because of cryptography. Okay? When you just scan it, it will understand that what is the product, who is the owner, who is the vendor, what is the price, all sort of details. Leave it. Paytm. You are scanning the barcode. What is that? How does it know? What is these dots and dashes over here? So that is a model that is created. That is encrypted with your code. What code? Your identity. Okay. Any barcode will look similar, right? Unless until you scan it using your mobile phone. If it is a PhonePe one, it will go to PhonePe. If it is a Paytm one, it will go to Paytm. Or if it is an ICICI Vim API, it will go to Vim APIs. How does it happen? The identity is referred in the, and that's an encryption model. Because technology is advancing very high. They are going secure and secure and secure. Because everybody is breaching. Everybody is trying to breach it. You know what breaching is. Okay? Go in hand and collapse it. That is breaching. So cryptography, we have to understand what is cryptography. At least how encryption and decryption is made. Okay? Very simply, I can tell you one important thing. Suppose, why I am telling this, you have to just understand. Somebody asks you a question like, what is cryptography? I will give a letter. Like, Besant is my subject that is sending to, it's like you are considered a telegram. Okay? You are very old telegram. You consider, but just a message or SMS. You are just giving Besant, JP Nagar, and the person name is suppose Mahesh. Okay? So you want to understand that the JP Besant, JP Nagar, and the Mahesh person is there. That is the one. So you just remove this and we add some key. And the key is A and X. Key is A and X. So what I will do? I will use B, AX, E, AX, S, AX, A, AX, N, AX. Get it? I will be encrypting this to this model. Okay? A person who reads this, he cannot understand. It's a very simple one. Anybody can hack this. Different. Okay. This is very old. This is got a Caesar cipher. Okay. So this type of, I will encrypt this into very big letter. Very big letter. Only somebody knows this AX. Only who knows this AX can decrypt it. He will remove this AX. He will remove this AX and only take B, E, S, A, and T like that. So this is we call as decryption. This we call as encryption. This is called as decryption. So you got the respective person got the idea. He will share, that person and that person will share that this is my key. AX is my key. Okay, that is we call as key authentication. And there are different type of key authentications. And number of research are going on how to authenticate, right? So RSA is one of the type of key. You can search for what is RSA key. A algorithm. That's an algorithm. What is an algorithm? See, reverse to Shamir and Alderman. 3 scientists has developed this RSA. 3 persons. Reversed, Shamir and Alderman. That is RSA. Okay. That is coming under cryptography. If you want a DSA algorithm, DSA is also a different algorithm which is created by those people only. Reverse Shamir only. DSA, and again it's a different algorithm. Federal Information System. So all these, who has created? This American or European peoples has created. Why? For military purposes. They want to share the code. That's like this. Older days it was Telegram, then it was messages pager, come with the phone, now mobile, WhatsApp, whatever. Even WhatsApp is also now going for encryption. Skype, everything is like encryption. So all this comes under this key factor. Okay, so world is so big like, but still the concept is same. Same thing, same key. We will create this key. I will create a new name. What is the name I can give? I can give some Besant key. Just enter, enter, enter. So just like our QR code, it has created some dots and dashes. Okay, you cannot understand this one. We don't have to understand that. Our intention is not that. Okay, now go to our location. Where it is a location? It will be saved in besant.pub and Besant key is there. Which is a location? My.ssh. Okay, I will go to .ssh, cd.ssh. I will find where is pub. It is my current location. Yeah, Besant key and Besant.pub. You can just cut it. It's a normal file. Besant.key. So this is the key. Just like AX. Just like AX, this is the key. So what is the key? This is OpenSSH private key. Ending OpenSSH private key. How many letters are there? How to find how many letters are there? I told you. WC. WC minus C. Characters. How many are there? 1843 characters are there. Including dots and dashes. Including this dots. Okay. How many lines are there? 27 lines are there. 27 lines are there. These are the useful things where you apply it. Okay. So command should apply in this way. Somebody asks you a question like this. Okay, so this is the key. Now again, what is the public key? .pub. This is the public key. So this is private key and this is your public key. Public key can be shared by anybody. Anybody can log in and use it. Private key means only that respective person can log in. That is the difference. So we'll use this. Okay, ma. Just ask him to wait for 15 minutes, 15-20 minutes. Okay, so I will use this public key to log into the server. So where does you have to put in order to capture it? How? There is a location called .ssh. There is a file called authorized keys. If it is not there, you have to add it. Authorized. Spelling is wrong. Authorized underscore keys. Underscore keys. Insert and paste it. Okay. So in this file, I have applied that public key. Now this server will be having my public key, and my public key is in the local. Okay. So I will try to use my private key. How? SSH minus I Besant dot key. User is same user. Root at 192.168.1.7. Okay. Still it is giving some, see, logged in. Logged in, right? Logged in. How? If I type user password, I will log out again. And I type SSH root at 192.168.1.7. It will give you error. So password authentication has been disabled, key authentication has been enabled. That is the reason why we are able to log in using key. And this is how you log into the key. SSH minus I. I means identification. I means identification. And you know how to create this now. How to create this identification using SSH. Somebody asked you a question. How do you enable passwordless authentication? Got it? Somebody asked you, any interviewer asked you, how do you enable passwordless authentication? No password giving. This is, so you will tell that if it is a passwordless authentication means we will be using keys. First you have to generate the keys, private key, public key. And public key will be given to the server. Which location, which file? .ssh authorized underscore keys. Right? And it will be in the root folder. Type pwd. Pwd. Which is the file? /root.ssh authorized keys. This is the file. This is for user only root. Okay, suppose I want to log in as Vivek. Like this. What is the key? Where is that? Yeah, this one. Instead of root, I want to log in as Vivek. Shall I try? I will try this. You will get error, same error. Why? Why? Key is not with the Vivek. The key is with, public key is with the root only. So what you have to do? Same process, we have to repeat for Vivek also. So where is the home folder of Vivek? How to find the home folder of Vivek? First class, second class. I told you the for all user created will be available in etc passwd. etc passwd. Check for Vivek. Where is it? Home folder. /home Vivek. All user home folder will be /home Vivek. So just cat /etc passwd and just grab Vivek. So you will find this one. The fourth column or fifth column will be this one. So go to this location. Go to .ssh. It is not there. .ssh is not there. So you have to create it. mkdir.ssh. Now open a file. .ssh authorized keys. Don't change the spelling. Spelling is very important. Okay. Insert and where is the public key I want to insert? This is the public key. I have to copy the same public key to Vivek also. Okay. Copy it. Save it. Right? Now we will try again. Vivek. Still permission denied. Why? So there is some file location permission has been denied. So check what is the permission for SSH. This is my home folder. PWD is my home folder. ls minus la. ls minus la. What is the permission for .ssh? It is root. What is in my user? Vivek. So I have to change that to Vivek. How to change? Sleep on forward minus r .ssh. Now it is Vivek. Still there is a problem, I will tell you. Again I will try the same thing using Vivek. Still permission denied. You can check the log also. What is the problem? You can check the log. Trail minus f var log secure. Only I'm getting this one. Closed by. You can check in messages also. Messages. Started session, nothing is there. So you should understand this still is a permission problem. What is the permission? Root it is working, Vivek it is not working. For root, so go to root and check the permission for SSH. Go to root/root and check the permission for SSH. What is SSH permission? What is SSH permission? How much is this one? Tell me numbers. Ah. Read, write, and execute for only user. Group and others is 0. Read and execute add. Read for 4, write for 2, execute 1. Add it. 4 plus 2 plus 1. 7. First is 0. 7, double 0. That is the permission. So go to Vivek again. chmod 700 to .ssh. Clear? Again check what is the permission for. Go to back to root. Go to .ssh. Check what is the permission for authorized keys. What is the permission for authorized keys? 644. Read and write 6. You need to convert it to numbers. 644. Okay. Now go to /home Vivek .ssh. 644. Same. So there is no change in authorized keys. They are same. Now again I try to log in using Besant key. Still there is a problem. Now it's a problem with something else. Why it is not logging in? Okay. Now again you have configuration change. SSHD config. You have to allow. Wherever you find allow, check allow. That you get it in the advanced part. Allow users. Allow users. Okay. Vivek @star. Any IP. Or better I will give 192.168.1.7. This is allow users. Allow users. Root at 192.168.1.7. So only 1.7 can log into the system. You have to restart it. SSH. Restart it. Now go to Besant Vivek. This should work. It is timing out. This is all securing. Still I am getting. It is waiting for few time and then giving the error. Check the error in var log secure. Var log secure. So input. Now we have few extra errors. Unregistered authentication agent. We got user Vivek from 106 not allowed because it is not listed in allowed users. So unallowed users I allowed it, but I made a mistake over there. What is the mistake? 1.7 is the server IP. What is my client IP? 1.6. Right? So from where you are accessing, you have to give that IP address. Now restart SSH. Now take the log again and see if that works or not. Go to Vivek. Still we have an error. Now what is the problem? Still pre-auth is there. Now this is something else that is related to OS. We have to troubleshoot more. So what all things we have did? To enable a passwordless authentication for a particular user. What all things we have did? We have created a .ssh folder. We have given permission 700. Second step. Third step. We have created authorized key file. Copied the public key of the Besant key. Right? And it is copied and we have restarted Apache and we have added to allow users also. 5 steps we have did for enabling a password users. Still, this is not allowing. If it is not allowing means there is a problem, something else with the SSH protocol. Okay. With this error we cannot find it out. We have to troubleshoot more on that. Okay. Till this you can do. No issues. You should understand. So there is a 5 steps for making a passwordless authentication. is that? First generate a key, put that key into .ssh authorized keys. For that, two steps. .ssh folder should be created, file authorized key should be created, then copy this public key to the location. That's it. Fourth one, allow users. Add it in allow users. Then restart SSH. And you should log in using SSH at the rate like this, the send key. If you want to check with root, it should work root properly. Root it is working, but it is not working for others one. That is the troubleshooting part you have to do. Okay. That's fine. That's okay. So securing SSH, first one we have already taken like /etc sshd.config. We can change the port number. Shall I change the port number? Instead of 22, I will allow some 2244. Every time when you say change it, you have to restart the service. Now you check whether SSH is listening to which port. See, we got an error. What is that error? journalctl.exe. Copy. What is the problem? Bind for 22 failed. Permission denied to port number 22 failed. Cannot bind any address. Failed to open SSH started. It is not allowing to add in the SSH one. So what you have to do is we go to /etc services. Search for SSH. This is SSH, right? Two SSH are there. 22 for TCP, 22 for UDP. Copy these two. How to copy two lines? Come on, this is VA. Copy two lines. SSH line and the line below line. Forgot. 2 YY. 2 YY. And I want to paste it. Just paste it. Okay. And I will now create a port number called 2244. 2244. Again, port is not working. Now again restart it. Still there is an error. What is the error? It is not giving permission to start the SSH into some different processes. That is related to this only. What is called? Error binding port permission denied. I'll check it. What is the problem? Permission denied. SSH port number in configuration with SC Linux. That is the issue. SC Linux is enabled. That's also secure. How to find SC Linux is enabled or not? SC Linux is secure Linux. Okay, very secure Linux. Even though Linux is secure, you can make them more secure. So get enforce is the command to find it out whether SC Linux is installed or not. Get enforce. Yes, it is enforcing. Since this is enforcing, SC Linux is enabled. What is happening? That is, we are not able to give the permission to change the port number of SSH. Same is the case with the password application also, most probably. So I will disable it. How to disable it? Set enforce. Set enforce 0. Set enforce 0. Now check get enforce. What is now? It's permissive. Permissive means you are allowed to permit. If you want to permanently remove this, permanently disable this SC Linux, how to do? This is also tip for you. Somebody asked you how to permanently disable SC Linux. How to do? This is temporary, okay? This is only temporary. Permanent means after reboot also it should. Once you reboot this, it will again go to enforcing. So how to remove this? There is a file called /etc. I told you each and everything that we require there is a file. This file, all things you have to remember. Okay. I will give you a note for this one. Which all files are for different services you have to refer. Okay, at least you buy that. You got my point? So SC Linux, there is a file called SC Linux and there is a called config. There is a targeted is that enforcing is there. This SC Linux should be given to disabled. Only this one to do. So SC Linux equal to disabled and reboot. And reboot the system. It will disable. This is how you permanently or temporarily I have received it. Now you restart SSH. No error. No error. Now you check to which port number SSH is listening. Now which port number SSH is listening? 2244. This is how you troubleshoot. Okay. Google told me that this is because of SLNX, and with my information, I troubleshooted on SLNX. That I didn't go and check for Google.com. So something you don't know, you just click it out. First you learn by experience. This comes only from experience, I will tell you. But don't think that it will come in the next day. It is only come from experience. You have to work and troubleshoot on different things. Okay. For that, also I will train you how. I will give you some dumps. I will make some system corrupted system. I have to tell you to troubleshoot and fix it. If you do this confidently, you are done. Okay? You can add in the resume also. This is one challenge I faced. Okay? And maybe it is very simple also, that's okay. Because you are trying to get experience, right? So learning this, actually you are trying to get experience, at least for 2 years or 3 years. So you should know all these things. How to troubleshoot it. So you, unless and until you don't do, you will not understand. This only we are just listening now. And you are just to see that oh, this is happening. No, you have to do that. Okay? So for that, actually, what I have to do is that you have systems, right? You try to do this in systems. I will give you some problems. I will give you some problems. You do that first. Okay? I will upload today. You try to do it in next. You come and do it next week. Okay? With what all things I have did right till now, I will give you some questions. Maybe 5 questions. That's it. 5 questions. You can do that. Okay? If you do that and submit it before Saturday or on Saturday or morning also, not problem. I will verify and give it. Okay? Okay. So now I change the port number. Now if you try with same command, root at, it will give you connection request. Why? Because SSH is by default trying to connect to 22. See port number 22, but our port number I have changed. So how to give port number? You can give -P 2244. Now directly to log in. Okay? So this is a tip for you. How to provide port number is command line. Clear? That's it. Depends. You just remember it. Okay, this is one security. Because nobody can guess that your SSH code is 2244. Or some you give some 1983 or 2048, something like that. So nobody can guess it. This is SSH. But there is a tool called Nmap. Okay, what is a tool called? Nmap. I will try to install it. Install Nmap. What is this Nmap? Nmap is network mapping. So almost all this troubleshooting guys, I know you don't use. I don't recommend to use it because this will give you a bad impression. Who is hitting this Nmap? That IP will be blocked by server. Okay, so what is Nmap? I just use Nmap and give the IP 192.168.168.1.7. What it will do? It will scan for all services. It has scanned for 25. Yes, 25 is listening to SMTP. SMTP is running there. 3306. Yes, MySQL it is running. 8080 is there. HTTP proxy is running, but it didn't find SSH. So this is why I tell you. Whenever you can scan a network using Nmap, but you cannot scan this SSH. It is gone. How do you scan it? It will have to scan from 1 to 1024 or more than that. Then 10 times if you try it, your IP is gone. It will block. Clear? So this is also one good utility. For learning purpose, you use it. Only local host you use it. Don't use it in server. Never run this command on server unless and until you are very sure about to do it. Okay? Nmap is a very powerful command as well as very dangerous command. If you run 2 to 3 times means suppose you are trying from your office means your office IP will be blocked. That will be blacklisted. Getting my point? This IP will be blacklisted into spammers. So what happens whenever some mails has been sending from this IP address to somebody else, that will go into spam box, telling that this person is not an authorized person to send a mail, or this is in the block list. Then you have again a legal issue comes in. You have to unblock it. You have to provide a proof that we are not the person to do that. So what is the mistake that as an employee you have done? You have run the nmap command. So that is the complication. So think on that. Never do it these activities from office. Do it. You can do it from your local. If you are creating VirtualBox, you do it. 100 times you do no issues. But no, never public IP should be used nmap. Clear? Any scanners, there are n number of nmap port scanner, live scanner, IP scanner. All these are the different utilities are there to scan. Normally, all hackers and spammers do that, but don't use it in office. Even if you use it in home, that's okay. Every time you disconnect and connect it, you will get a new IP. For testing and understanding, you use it 1 or 2 times. Otherwise, don't use it. I told you that these are the complications you have to understand. Again, if you run it, it will check. Again, if you run it, check it. And if you want to check for protocol SSH, I think it is not doing. S222 only port closed. If you try for SSH, it is telling that the service SSH state is closed. Okay, so we shall stop here. I'll give you instruction for notes for these all. Okay.